Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the new Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park in a Sunday edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan Illman, along with ace handicapper and Equibase chart caller Keith Fustel. Keith, nice 10-race card today at Laurel Park. Some big fields, some great betting opportunities. Let's look back real quickly at yesterday. We had two stakes races for 3-year-olds. Maryland breds won them both. Barbadian Runner for Forrest Boyce and Henry Walters. Mild upset in the Spectacular Bid, a race where the favorites had a lot of trouble.
They did have some trouble. Sacred Thunder steadied along multiple times, came out at the break, bumped around. Tony Eclipse as well, the leader, the Dutch Road runner, dropped back abruptly right around the 3/8 pole, and that was it. Just backed up right into Tony Eclipse. Couldn't really recover. Sacred Thunder coming on well at the end, but you know what? Really good ride, patient ride by Forrest Boyce. We've seen it time and time again, and congrats to Walters. That was really, really good. It's been a while, but this horse has always been trying. Barbadian Runner. I chased him last time, a little flattening, but reading the release, tweaked a couple things with the equipment. Got it done.
Changed the bit, put the blinkers on for the previous start up to the Spectacular Bid, and this horse has been nothing but consistent. It looks like they're going to try to keep him sprinting for now. We'll see if maybe they run him in the one-turn Miracle Wood, but a very promising horse and a really nice ride, as you mentioned, from Forrest Boyce, who followed live cover, got to the outside, and got the clear run. Sunday's card, we've got some weather conditions and track conditions right now. The track is fast, and thankfully it is warmer than it was yesterday. 39 degrees. The wind's at only 5 miles per hour. The wind was brisk yesterday. I didn't like it.
Your adjustment here. You're from up north, though. I mean, you can handle the cold. But, we're going to get up, I think, almost into like the mid-40s this week. That's good. We'll take it. It'll feel like 75 degrees, but looking forward to it. I need the snow to melt. I need to get back out on the golf course is what I need. But, again, this is a nice card. 10 races. I got a couple shots along the way. We're going to kick it off in the first. This is the early value pick 5 with a 50-cent play here, 12% takeout. Your field stays intact for the early value pick 5. I have a ticket, and it's very reasonable today, $18. It's one of these, I go 18 or I go 96. So we're going to make it 18 today. See if we can get us started here and adjust accordingly too. If we miss it early, come back, play the pick 3s, play the pick 4s. We're gonna be working right around it. $2.90 to get you started. Sweet Heidelberg's your price in there. Freccia D'Argento, probably the horse to beat here for Rudy Sanchez Solomon. Singling, a little bit risky. Been chasing this guy. Lasix goes on today. I think he just needs to hold close to form. He can get by this field. Race 3, 4, 8, and 9. Dropping here into condition races, the 4 and the 8. Lavisa gets a major assist. We'll talk about that with a scratch of forgotten gift. Race 4, 3 deep, 3, 6, and 7. Wrap it up in race 5 with 2 runners. The 3 Severn Run. We'll have a stat on that one. In Imperial Sky, the 4. We will have a video for that Linda Albert runner. $18 for the early pick 5. The value pick 5 at a 12% takeout. Gotta love it.
Great bet. Early pick 5 yesterday. 4 of 5 paid $1,000.
Yeah,
so. Again, a great bet, low takeout, fun for horse players. We're going to kick things off with race number 1. We both like the 9 in here, and we have a stat for Freccia D'Argento. Trainer Rudy Sanchez Solomon making the 3rd start after a 180 to 365-day layoff on dirt. 4 for the last 13, almost a $3 return on investment. So maybe Rudy is racing Freccia D'Argento back into shape in the 3rd start following a May layoff. This horse is getting significant class relief after facing a very sharp horse in Pistol Liz Ablazing.
I always thought she was just going to take it to another level, but she's been productive. You look at her earnings, $257,000 for a $30,000 purchase. A 6-year-old now, right? Not quite as fast as what she once was, but drops to the right level. She was involved in a battle with Major Houlihan last time, got the better of that one around the turn. I think she can kind of spy any kind of speed in here. Pounce top of the stretch and just kind of grind it out. She doesn't have that a bigger explosive run, but it'll be a churn from the top of the stretch home.
Your second pick in here is the 2 Sweet Heidelberg. This horse could be the speed of the speed. And last time out off the layoff, just got caught up in a very fast pace. They were going 22-1 at Penn National on the cutback, and Sweet Heidelberg just could not keep up. I'm expecting a lot more speed stretching back out to the mile.
Yeah, Corrali's okay with this move. Sprint to the route, 16-17% hedging towards a positive ROI. This is a mare that's a little bit in and out. We've seen her jump back off of very poor performances to run big. She's run okay over this racetrack with a win, 5 for 9 in the money. I do believe she can go. I do think she can sit close to a contested pace if needed. Some patience, going to have to really judge the pace, is Betancourt by the time they hit that far turn.
My second choice is the 4 Don't Tell Darren. We have a trainer stat for trainer Jerry Robb. Last out winners, 3 for the last 12, 25% to $4.73 ROI. When Jerry gets them good, they tend to stay good. Don't Tell Darren did have a very good trip last time out. The rail was there for her. She shot on through, but she did stay close to some pretty fast fractions over that muddy track. She sprinted home well. She's always been a consistent horse. She won the Maryland Million starter on turf back in 2023, so maybe she likes dirt now, and the mile is just fine for her. She's another with good tactical speed.
Yeah, this is a mare. She's won 7 races, made over 200,000. I did not know. I'm thinking Don't Tell Darren. I think it's conditional. No, she's won 7. You're right. Took the initiative last time, got down inside and spurted away. Nobody was going to get her from the top of the stretch home. Likes, proven here at the mile again. I think one that's versatile enough. If a horse like Major Houlihan we don't have in the mix, I'm going to use this horse in my exacta boxes. I will use this just the way the McMahon barn is going right now. Good price yesterday with Princess Lucia. Nice ride for the apprentice rider. But Major Houlihan, I think, is going to mix it up early. We'll see. Is she kind of tailing off form? Maybe, but the way the barn's going, I'm still concerned. Yeah.
9-4-5-1 for me. 9-2-1-5 for Keith. We'll see if Freccia D'Argento does it third off the layoff for Rudy Sanchez Salaman. Let's take a look at the field for race number 2. Kicks off our 50-cent pick 4. We've got a field of 7 going 5.5 furlongs. These are newly minted 3-year-olds, 20 down to 16, and the 4 little bit risky. Just looks like the horse to beat. I just didn't think this horse had a good trip last time out.
No, didn't have the best of trips. Caught out there 5-4 wide as we've gotten our short comment. Then engaged in duel into that flow and just faded very late. Chipotle out of that race came back to run a good number, a lower 80 when winning against better, right to the front. Another guy, you're looking at the field. Nobody has that real blazing speed. He's good enough to kind of get in there early, mix it up, and I think keep on going. But I do fear English Daddy. I thought got a pretty good setup last time, but ramping up. That was a sharp improvement for English Daddy. J-Rod stays. This barn and jockey combinations good, proven. They win some races at Delaware together. This guy, I think, is going to make this run off the pace again.
A little bit of a step up in class. Not sure what he was beating in that race last time out, English Daddy. So my second choice in here is the 6, Up in Flames, who easily outran his humongous odds last time out. He was, almost 50-1 that day. He broke well. He ended up tracking the pace in between. I liked how Jamie was able to get down to the inside in the stretch, and he got up for second behind the favorite. He's hoping for a little bit of a pace dispute. I think the 7 Tiny Lake's going to show speed. The 2 Papa Paulie P is going to show speed. Both horses, though, stepping up off the maiden wins. Maybe the 4 little bit risky just tucks in behind.
I think he can do that and assert himself. He's got a little bit of he's got a class edge against these horses. See if he can just kind of hold form. But Tiny Lake's interesting. The blinkers went on last time. A sharp score off the claim, went up the pen to get it done. Short comment, ridden out, comes back with the Lasix again today for Kieran McGee, Villalobos. Yeah, I think this one will be up early, prompting. That was a sharp improvement. We'll see if this horse can continue as well on the upward trend.
You got Kissling in the mix.
Yeah.
This is a horse that I thought ran well 2 starts back before a minor layoff. I thought that was an outside closer's track. This horse broke from the inside, didn't break well, was prompting the pace along with 2 others from the rail. And I just think racing on the deeper inside path worked against. Last time out, chasing a very fast pace. Maybe Lasix on for Tromby, who won one yesterday.
This horse, again, we thought had a little bit more talent early. Showed up at Monmouth at Timonium. Doesn't maybe want the 6, but the combination of second off a break, a first-time Lasix and slight shortening. This horse has enough gas to be right there mid-turn see if he can bring a finish. He's going to have to improve off of those last two.
4-5-7-1 for Keith, 4-6-7-2 for me. It's a little bit risky to kick off the 50-cent pick 4, but the horse did have a tough trip last time out. Let's take a look at the field for race number 3. And if we're out of the pick 5 and you're out of the pick 4, good news. There's a 50-cent pick 3 starting with race number 3, and we do have a pair of scratches. The 1 Early Frost, the 3 Forgotten Gift. The 8 Utterly Enchanting is your 5-2 morning line favorite, but I want to start things off talking about the number 9 La Visa a little bit, because this filly is a horse that is listed on our horses to watch segment on our handicapping guide, which is still available for download. It is free, friends, at laurelpark.com/picks. La Visa was in against Berzina and was just chasing that horse from the start, and Berzina's pretty good.
Yeah, and gets a major assist, Dan, with the scratch of the 3 Forgotten Gift, who's very, very quick. Re-entered for Frock. We'll see that one next week. So, unless Molly of Stratford cheek pieces going on can kind of force the issue, I think La Visa might be her race to lose up front. You're right. She's kind of knocked heads against some better into some tougher internals. We've got a stat for Ricky Silliman as well. Over the last 3 years on the main track, it's a good number, 8 for 26, 31% strike rate, 17 for 26 in the money. On this kind of drop, the 50% claiming drop. ROI, it's a positive one, 207. So Toledo with a good break can either go, measure if anybody wants to kind of go crazy. Maybe a horse like Try It Again, who's flashing speed into pass, going first time for Rudy Sanchez-Salomon goes. This one, I think, has the right kind of flow today to stay around. I had to pull a little bit of an audible with that scratch of the 3 Forgotten Gift.
Berzina, of course, came back from that win to run third in a $20,000 starter allowance with a 72 buyer. La Visa has been listed as a vet scratch twice since that most recent start, but I trust Ricky Silliman, I trust that stat, and I trust this one's early speed. I've been chasing Genie in a Bridle for a long time.
So have
This
I.
horse has had trip after trip, and I'm getting to the point where maybe if it doesn't work out today, then I've lost too much money on her. You go back to a race 4 back, she's checked and steadied so horribly in the first furlong when she was rank, and then she gave a good effort to finish third. She's facing anonymously 3 starts back. That's a race where she breaks slow and she's just stuck in traffic in the stretch. 2 back, she ends up against an odds-on favorite in Royal Seamstress, and then last time out she's in against anonymously. The running line doesn't look great that day. I don't think she cared for the sloppy track. I want to give Genie in a Bridle one more chance, hoping, beyond hope perhaps, that maybe there's a little bit more speed to set her up.
She and Utterly Enchanting, they're like carbon copies of each other to me. They've got similar styles. They'll sit back 6-8 out of it, leaving the far turn. They get the advantage of getting into a condition race today. This is the 1 at 6 months or never won 4. I think that would help. I think both of them would have enjoyed seeing Forgotten Gift stay in this field. She's out, so they may have to force their hand a little bit sooner, maybe try to pick things up, leaving the 3/8 and close in. But they've run some big races in the past. You're right about Genie Bridle. Maybe just didn't care and kick on that off surface last time out. Sapphire Beauty, the frock runner that stays in here, is a trier. I think she can chase around and stay for a piece in race 3.
I really think she's the key to the race because she can show speed under Torrealba. She draws inside La Visa, and maybe she just leaves running and forces La Visa to take a seat on the outside. Now, La Visa can win from just off the pace, but maybe that will heat things up for horses like Utterly Enchanting, horses like Genie in a Bridle. It's going to be an interesting race. The number 2 I threw in there as well. Let's
Bad
talk
Temper.
a little bit about Bad Temper.
Yeah.
A horse that I think gets a bad rap a lot of times because a lot of seconds and thirds on the page, but I think she's in sneaky good form right now. 4th 2 starts back coming up the rail, and then last time out over the muddy track, rallying for third, finishing just behind Sapphire Beauty. It'll be a better price.
Exactly. Another one I think is a little bit pace dependent. She's run her better races with a little bit of flow in front of her, but the buyer speed figures are going in the right direction. She's got a top of a 66. She's getting close. If she makes one more little step and gets some, a contested pace up front, watch out for Bad Temper to make that run.
Keith's going 8-4-9-7. I'm going to go 4-8-7-2 in race number 3. Race number 4, mile and a 16th. It's a first level allowance race for fillies and mares going a mile and a 16th. Kickoff leg of another 50-cent pick 4. Lovely Charm, the 3 is your 7-5 morning line favorite. But I'd like to start things off with Vodkatini, the number 6. We do have a video spotlight for Vodkatini's start on December the 22nd. It was a race that also features a horse in here coming off of the claim Daily Planet.
Yes.
We watch Vodkatini. Not really the greatest break for her in here. The pace was not very fast, so she is already way behind the 8-ball. And now Vodkatini's going way to the outside while Daily Planet gets a big split in between horses. Vodkatini is actually going to outfinish Daily Planet. She ran really well. Off slow, slow pace, very wide, so game.
Yeah, she kind of caused her own problem early by that little stutter step out of the gate, and then she had to be pinched. But, man, circling up 7 wide, Daily Planet had to jump, and she just keeps grinding, closing in to nab second. Daily Planet, the blinkers going on. Maybe they thought she kind of hung just a little bit. They're going to try an equipment change. Phil Capuano off the claim for Daily Planet. Your top selection.
Yeah, but Vodkatini and Daily Planet were in against Pistol Liz Ablaze and came right back to win again at Aqueduct in a $15,000 claimer with a 79 buyer speed figure. I went with Daily Planet off the Capuano claim. She was just moving so sweetly in behind horses and got the split. I can understand maybe being a little disappointed that Vodkatini was able to outfinish her. I will admit Vodkatini ran better. I do like they're putting blinkers on in here, and I wonder if maybe this gets this horse a little bit more focused and a little bit sharper out of the gate. Might be a fairly decent price. Sister Supreme is your top selection, and we do have a trainer stat for Jamie Ness, who won the finale yesterday right here at Laurel Park. Last out winners making their first start off a 2 to 4 month layoff, 7 for the last 12, $3.59 ROI, and Sister Supreme also could be the controlling speed.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, I think this whole race, this opening quarter, 5/16 of a mile is going to tell you a lot because you've got some quality fillies and mares in here. Lovely Charm, Sister Supreme. Their positional speed is there. Their stamina is there. As long as they don't just go crazy through that first 3/8 of a mile, they certainly could take this field a long way. I think Sister Supreme could go. Lovely Charm, I like the way that she showed that rating ability last time out. Really holding good form for Gonzalez. Just misses to stop the Cap, who came back and ran a really good second on Friday. So these are the controlling pace. You know, Vodkatini a little bit deeper. Daily Planet's been a little bit deeper. Bellintin might chase. And Viennese Waltz, we've seen her kind of game. She sits back, way back, and needs a little bit of help up front. She got it last time when winning. I think the 3 and the 7, they're shorter prices. The road is going to go through them from about the 3/16 bowl home.
But let's talk about Ballantyne, who was actually entered out of conditions. She was eligible for a non-winners at 2 life last time out. I think that was a non-3 beaten last time, and Ballantyne pulled off a big upset. It was a really nice ride from Tyus Liapestina. The pace was not very fast. Ty got Ballantyne right up close while saving ground, and she spurred it on home. And we do have a trainer stat for Rudy Sanchez Solomon. Last out winners on dirt, 4 for the last 15, a $3.20 ROI. Do you think Ballantyne was a wet track move up?
That could have been. I mean, that's a big jump in numbers, but, she's changed barns a couple times. There's something people like about this 4-year-old Gervin filly. And, again, I don't think she's quite got the early zip of a Lovely Charm and Sister Supreme, but I could see her making the first run into that flow.
We'll see if Sister Supreme can blast out of there from the outside post. Remember, short run into the first turn, but she is fast, and she's expected to make the lead, and she's Keith's top pick, 7-3-6-5. I'm going to hope maybe Blinkers On gets it done for Daily Planet off the Phil Cap claim, 5-7. 1 and 3. Let's move on to race number 5. I was looking forward to this race and still am. We're going 3/4 of a mile. It's a 12.5 to 10 maiden claimer, and it is the first leg of the 20-cent Chesapeake Pick 6 jackpot wager. So, of course, we want to maybe spread a little bit in here, and of course look for a little bit of a price to take down the Chesapeake Pick 6. I want to start things off with Imperial Spy, the number 4, your top selection in this race. We do have a video spotlight on Imperial Spy. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I thought the first two races for this gelding were very good, and then form a little interesting, but an excuse this particular day. Imperial Spy on the 22nd of December in the green and orange checks there, and you see the sharp check back from in between horses for this Linda Albert runner for the Murrays, and just kind of makes a little recovery, but then just can't quite pick it up from the 3/8 pole home. Had to go overland, that 3 to 5 wide advance past the 5/16 into the stretch. That just couldn't quite go. English Daddy, you're going to get a look at this one, the horse we're kind of using earlier, the way this horse finished up. But switching over to that correct lead was just a little too late. Just couldn't finish. But the addition of Lasix here today, I think you might see an improvement for Imperial Sky. First two were too good. I don't want to give up on them just yet. Today's going to be a tell.
And there's a chance in this pretty big field that their pace will be solid and set things up for Imperial Spy. In the second lifetime start, that 51 Beyer is nothing to sneeze at.
No.
Imperial Spy looks pretty legitimate to me. Severn Run, the number 3, is my top selection. We have a trainer stat for Phil Capuano. Experienced runners, not first-time stars, first-time Lasix, 6 for the last 14, a $3.49 return on investment. So Severn Run should not only benefit getting Lasix for the first time, but really should benefit from this class drop. Look who he was in against last time out. One of our new favorites, Slam Notion, who came back and ran an excellent second behind Chipotle and earned an 82 Beyer speed figure in a first-level allowance. Safe to say there are no Slam Notions in here. So Lasix on, big drop for Severn Run, and I'm expecting this horse to get a little bit closer to the pace.
And Darren Venture in there as well. So, yes, I think we'll lay a little bit closer. A plummet here today. All systems go to try to go ahead and get this maiden win for the 3 Severn Run. I go 4-3. I toss in John Jack, Jim J, just like the family. We've seen all these siblings. They run so well. Second-time blinkers. Should get a clear trip. I think has enough speed to lay close. I just want to see a little bit more finish. You go inside with a horse that's going to be an okay price, I believe, 6-8 to 1 range. Probably when it's all said and done, Mike's Motown for Mancia. Lasix going back on for this runner.
And that's the angle with our trainer stat for Carlos Mancia and the number 1 Mike's Motown. Lasix on, dirt. 9 for the last 31. Giant ROI, $5.46. Mike's Motown has speed and the rail. Now, might have to deal with the 5 Sir Chancelot, another horse
certainly.
that's very fast, but Angel Cruz has got to go. From the rail draw going 6, you don't want to get shuffled back. I expect Mike's Motown to show some speed. The horse that ran 3rd in a most recent start came back to graduate at Mahoning Valley, of all places, by 16 and a half lengths with a 65 Beyer speed figure. So maybe Mike's Motown will show a little bit of improvement.
Yeah, we toss in the 5 Sir Chancelot. I don't want to leave that one out. Clearly better. Second off the claim. That last race, I'm just going to toss.
2 starts back, this horse was bumped so hard at the start that the jockey lost the irons, still rushed up to make the lead and got beat ahead. Hugh McMahon is going so well right now that if Mike's Motown can't stick with Sir Chancelot, Sir Chancelot is a very dangerous pace presence in race number 5. 5 down, 5 to go. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll come back with the first leg of the late 50-cent value pick 5.
Baltimore! To the city of Baltimore, to all the fans watching around the world, riders up!
They're off in the Preakness.
All eyes of the world will be on Baltimore.
They're head and head. Seabiscuit leads by a length. Seabiscuit is the winner.
And it was a powerhouse race again by the big, strong Secretariat.
Sunday Silence takes the lead at the quarter pole.
American Pharaoh, phenomenal in the Preakness. And the filly did it! Rachel Alexandra! Smarty Jones, he wins the Preakness by a dozen lengths. She's the brave, wins the Preakness.
Welcome back to a Sunday edition of Today at the Races. Dan Illman here with Keith Fustel, getting ready to kick off the 50-cent late value pick 5 with race number 6. Let's take a look at the field. These are 3-year-old fillies, 20 down to 16, claiming tag 5.5 furlongs. There's some big scratches in here. It's a monster mash, look like a very strong contender. The 7 Golden Aurora, the 8 Love You Mom, the 9 Sandy Sue. Those horses have been withdrawn. Want to remind everybody again, first leg of the value pick 5. Low, 12% takeout, 50-cent minimum wager. This late pick 5 has carryover potential. Race 6, of course, is also the $1 jackpot super high 5 play. Let's talk a little bit about race number 6. These scratches, before let's go to Mackenzie's late value pick 5. I don't want to throw that out. Let's go over to Mackenzie's pick 5. She's going a little deep here, $60.
I'm telling you, I like that bankroll. I mean, $18 up to 60. No, that's good. You listen. One thing I've got to just get through my head with these pick 5s, 12% takeout, the value that you're getting, you're going to have to spend a little bit. It's not easy to hit 5 in a row, but when, it can pay serious dividends. You talked about this late pick 5 has the carryover potential. We saw 4 or 5 in the early pick 5 yesterday pay a big, big number. So if I invest 60, and I can get back $1,000, I'm very, very happy. She's going to start this off here in race 6 with 3 horses, 3 deep, Mackenzie. The Institution, the 4, Pootagook, okay, I hope I'm saying that right, for Kelly Lynn Dieter, and the 10, Ade, who I think will take a slew of play here for Cole and Juralis. Race 7, 8, and 9, she's 2 deep, 2, 3, 2, 5, 2, 5. Then it's a spreadarama in race number 10. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 go away even numbers. The odds hopefully are in control in race 10. She's got some good prices in the Brewmaster from the rail. Bye Bye Wicked, I think, is a horse interesting for Mackenzie and Daniel Mackenzie as well, to the trainer, to maybe get that flow and strike from just off the pace. A $60 late value pick 5 with that 12% takeout for Mackenzie.
Strategy for Mackenzie, obviously stay alive to the final leg,
absolutely.
and then you've got 5 chances and a couple of big prices in there as well. Race number 6, we do have a trainer stat on the 10. Odd day for Mike Juralis. First off the claim on dirt, 5 for the last 10, $3.98 ROI. I personally think Odd Day is the horse to beat. I didn't think this horse had a very good trip last time out. The pace was slow. The race was won in gate-to-wire fashion. And when that scenario occurs, it's very hard to win making a wide move. This horse must have been 5 wide after the opening quarter mile, 4 wide through the turn and into the stretch, and still held second. I think this horse is in very good form, and you got the Juralis stat. The horse to beat and a horse I got to use in the pick.
Agreed. That was a Gary Cap horse, right? Golden Filly, I believe. They got it done. Was really sharp that particular afternoon. They hampered by that wide trip, made the run. I still willing enough. Owner-trainer combo. You pay attention when Robert Cole goes in and claims one, and this horse is going to definitely draw money. And with the scratch of It's a Monster Mash, and Love You Moon, this horse I think is going to be right up with it with a good break.
Let's talk about your top selection, the 2, Curl and Rod for Jose Corrales, a maiden winner last time out. Got a little bit of a break after that start, but now is getting Lasix for the first time. With the scratch of It's the Monster Mash, Curl and Rod inherits the rail. Got to go, kid. And the Zembran has been aggressive.
Yeah, I've been aggressive. We saw it on that good payout for the McMahon horse. Was able to be aggressive early, dropped in and control it. This filly, I don't think quite has the speed of a couple of these other ones, especially the horse just to her outside. Institution, Blessed Candy is quick. Ade enough. So flow is going to be there. Getting through that opening quarter of a mile unscathed is going to be critical. But Curl and Rod, as she caught my eye at Timonium, a little bit of an education after the slow start. Only beaten a couple lengths by It's the Monster Mash. Turf, no good, comes back, breaks the maiden on an upward trend. You talked about she didn't switch leads that day. Maybe there was something there, the reasoning for the freshening. If she comes back, I think she's got a little bit more ability than what she's shown. And I like the setup she's going to get today at a good number.
I'm hoping that the 5, Blessed Candy, has a much more favorable pace scenario than last time out. I don't think she's going to have to go 22-2 and duel for the lead as she did last time out. So maybe the last 2 running lines are just a little bit not as representative of this horse's true form, because the horse wins at Laurel back on July the 27th, runs well at Timonium, and then I think Antonio Machado just maybe threw this horse to the wolves. Look who she was in against 2 starts back. Onyx 10, she won the extra heat yesterday, and then last time out in for the 40, getting caught in that speed duel. I like horses dropping in class with speed, especially getting Lasix for the first time. I'm hoping Blessed Candy gets loose up front. Tell me a little bit about the 11, Thunder in Paris, the other Jose Corrales.
Just coming back with a Rojo, jockey-trainer combination that can jump up and strike at a big, big number. Ran big first time out, now coming back third off of a break. Also out of that eccentric rate in my memories. I just think she's better. Took play in that race at 5-1. Didn't really run a step. I think she's just better. And just gauging Corrales and some of these runners, they do some in and out kind of stuff. I think she's another one. If things get kind of contested, she can circle and make a run. This is a trainer jockey combo that I pay attention to.
And one of the horses Mackenzie's using is the 4, Putagok, a $10,000 purchase at public auction since the most recent start, moving to the Kelly Lindeder barn. This horse faced some decent horses at Belterra last time out. The 5th place horse has come back to place twice down at Gulfstream, one on Tapeta, one on turf, buyers of 60 and 67.
10,000 for a Munnings out of a Scat Daddy mare.
Filly as well, not a bad broodmare prospect down the
absolutely.
road. Keith's going 2, 10, 11, and 5. I'm going to concentrate my play on the old Woolworth special. 5, 10, 4, and 2 in race number 6. Let's move on to race number 7. We'll throw up the field. Mile and a 16th. This is a starter optional claimer. Starter allowance $12,000. The optional claiming price is $20. Jamie Ness has the coupled morning line favorite in the 1 Afraid of the Bunny, the 1A Splendor Beauty, but the 2 Sagrada Rey is in very, very good form, and we do have a trainer stat on Sagrada Rey. Here is Gary Capuano, and this is added to. It was before Onyx 10 was yesterday. 3 for 11, 240 ROI. Sagrada Rey last time out was able to control the pace. 23 and 4 opening quarter, 23 and 2 second quarter, so went pretty quick on the lead that day, and still kept going. The problem is there are other speeds that could work against Sagrada Rey.
That was sharp. I keep him into the mix. I've got him laid in there in 3rd. Again, when I do my picks, it's a little bit more of a value situation. The way you use them, you pick the value, you box, and you go from there. But Sagrada Rey has shown in the past to make a little run from off the pace. And you talked about some of the other speed in here. Afraid of the Bunny, Coffee with Chris. Spear Gun can kind of get out there and go with you a little bit. Tops of the chart, Splendor Beauty. So this pace, I've got to think it's going to be a little bit contested. I don't know if anybody's going to want another one to go ahead and clear and control. If Sagrada Rey goes and the way he kind of held after that second quarter last time, he's going to be very, very dangerous. I look for a horse like the 5, Martini Martin, and a horse like the 3, Hornbeam, to be main beneficiaries of this flow this afternoon at the 2-turn. A mile and a 16th. Martini Martin, you've got Toriaba, a little bit of a tell here for me. A good ROI combo jockey trainer, and a jump up in class going from that condition claimer at Penn back into the allowance. Some strong back figs, some good races over this racetrack. Mancia Barn, last couple years, 2 for 13, only 15%, but an ROI of 383 with this kind of move, claimer to allowance. I like this setup here. Protect move, first time gelding angle. Now, I did say he's over 16, but 5 for 16 in the money. Maybe today's the day. Not the strongest of samples, but Martini Martin to come rolling here in race 7.
And the horse that beat him last time, that's pretty good. And that horse came right back to win again at Penn National in a $16,000 beaten with a 71 buyer speed figure. You're right. Martini Martin was good enough to win 4 in a row earlier in his career and is going to get the right race flow under J.G. Torrey Alba. Let's talk a little bit about the number 3 in here, your second pick, and that is Hornbeam, a horse that is on his best day, you could make the argument he's one of the better closers in the field.
No, really, a couple good races over this racetrack, a couple off the claim as well. The 3-back try, the 2-back try, then goes up last time out and comes back here 4 to 5 wide. Afraid of the Bunny, controls it every step of the way. They kind of stay with this guy at the $20,000 level. I think he's got another one in him, and he's gonna get the right kind of setup.
Quick trainer stat on the 7, Spear Gun for Lacey Gaudet. Second after a 6-month to 1-year layoff. 5 for the last 10. $3.42 ROI. I think Spear Gun was prepping last time out. It was the first race off of a long layoff. He was in very, very tough against the likes of Boss Logic. Spear Gun got the fitness that day. Now is getting blinkers. We know this horse has shown speed in the past. Is he fast enough to make the lead in here? I'm not sure, but I think he'll be close.
Yeah, definitely improvement. I kind of glazed right over him. Then I saw that you kind of put him in the mix. I respect that. The blinkers going on. The stat kind of speaks a little bit more in a vibe situation to me. Yeah, this horse might jump back up, and I think you're going to get a square price on Spear Gun because there's a host of others you're looking, but sneaky improvement could be in line for Spear Gun. I'm king on these closers. I'm taking 3 and 5, top and bottom, as I like to say in the exacta with a host of these. I'm going to try to hit this exact.
The first quarter mile could be key in here. I wonder if Toledo just sends Sagrada Rey trying to take advantage of that inside post position. Let's move on to race number 8. One of the features on our card today, we will scratch the number 1 Point Doom. This is not only is it 2 other than allowance with a $40,000 claiming Tag Worcester for Brittany Russell, 6-5 on the morning line. One of the horses to beat. We'll get to him in a minute, but let's watch Don't Wait Up's most recent start. We got a video spotlight.
Yeah, for Jamie Ness, Jamie Rodriguez. Yeah, the Parks try not, got caught in a duel outside, a little bit of a fade. But this is going back 2 races, November the 3rd, over this surface at this distance. It was his first try at 7/8 of a mile, and I really like the effort here. Don't Wait Up was able to prompt that issue, go on the attack, leaving the far turn, cleared and met the challenge of a pretty good horse and On the Mark, who's ran pretty good the other day in the stakes. Came back out of after this particular race on the 3rd to run an 87 buyer. So the numbers are there, the style is there. Don't Wait Up from the inside post, I think. Now with the scratch of Point Doom, he may be thrust into a little bit of a pace. So you might have a Nuisance and Heaven's Got Fire to go ahead and go early from the outside. But I like the positional speed. I like the finish and the coming back to the 7/8 over the surface.
Let's talk about Worcester. Video spotlight for this horse who really has put it all together for Brittany Russell since returning off of a lengthy layoff. Now, this race didn't feature a very fast pace. The opening quarter was in 23-2. That's very moderate for this level of horse. And it's not like Worcester's being threatened by a horse that was expected to win. Swifty Devil ran just fine, but he was also 25-1. But here's the best part of the race, Worcester sprinting home.
Oh, he just kind of was nursed beautifully with that outer rival around the turn. But when Sheldon said go, he really responded. And this guy, maybe now we're going to really see the Worcester that they thought they were going to see prior. Back at 7/8 of a mile. He still might have to run a little bit quicker, but he's going certainly in the right direction. Flow is going to be, I think, to his liking as well. Going to be very tough at a very, very short price here for Brittany Russell.
Let's talk about the 6 Radical Right making the first start for Claudio Gonzalez. We do have a trainer stat for Claudio and Radical Right. First off the 120 to 180 day layoff with dirt performers, 31%, 364 ROI. This horse faced some good company at Saratoga last time out when trained by Linda Rice. Just got beat ahead that day. Had a big look at it in the stretch, but ended up getting wired. I think the layoff stats are fine for Gonzalez, and if this pace does get a little bit hot, I'm thinking Radical Right comes with a kick.
This is a horse that won a 2 other than, and he was in for the tag at Oaklawn Park. So we'll come back here, use the waiver to the advantage. A horse on the go back. 3 starts at Laurel, 2 wins, a second. Pretty strong here. Toriaba, you've got the stat. This is another one. I don't think he's quite got the speed of a few of these, but they're protecting here. I think they're expecting a big effort for Radical Right.
Keith's going 2-5-6-3. I'll go 6-5-2-4 in the 8th. Late double time. Race number 9, mile and a 16th. Another high-level optional claiming event. Mind Tap for Sheldon and Brittany Russell. 2-1 morning line favorite. We have got a video spotlight from Mind Tap's most recent start. First race is a gelding. First race off a layoff, and Mind Tap was super. Just look how comfortable he traveled. He pulled a little bit the opening quarter mile, but he is just swinging right now.
This is a race when I'm looking at it, and I go back, I'm like, how did we get 6-1 on this horse? Off the break, off of a troubled trip, Dan. Reported first-time gelding, a $725,000 purchase, and you're thinking, okay. I was just thinking things were just going to kind of come together for this horse, this particular race. I guessed right. They did. We're not going to get anywhere near the 6-1 today. And just like Worcester, she's got 2 horses back-to-back that look like they got some serious ability. This guy I think is going to be very, very tough here in return, jumping up a condition.
And if that race didn't sway you, maybe this trainer stat will. Last out winners, second off 180 to 365 day layoffs. They don't bounce. 6 for 13, $2.40 return on investment. Mind Tap is way the horse to beat, I believe, in the feature. We both have the 5-second.
Yeah. I mean, Catalea Strike returning with Lasix today. Numbers certainly work. You look at the last 3, 94, 82, 86 most recent. Film Star speediness just couldn't make that move into that flow speediness up front. But, yeah, this guy, he's gotten good. I love him here at the mile and the 16th distance. I would like to see maybe a little bit more flow, but Bouncer I think's got to go, and Wild Vine is going to keep that one honest. Catalea Strike I think can sustain and run, even if things don't get super, super quick up front.
Getting Lasix back on might help Catalea Stride. He has won his last 2 starts with the medication. 2.541 for Keith, 2.564 for me. Here's the finale, race number 10. We're going 3/4 of a mile. It's a 12.5 to 10 maiden claimer for 3-year-olds. The 5 Bold Diversion, slight 2-1 morning line favorite for Tim Keefe and Forrest Boyce, who won the spectacular bid yesterday. And we've got a video spotlight for Bold Diversion.
Yeah, they both exit that race on December the 14th, and they're both right up on the lead. A ding-dong battle, head-and-head around the turn. Bold Diversion is going to outfinish Defined Boundaries here from the final 1/4 of a mile. But very similar styles. I think they're going to be back at it again. They're both adding Lasix. Defined Boundaries, though, reported first-time gelding.
That could be the big change.
What's it going to be in race number 10? I think both of these horses, they're going to be up there on the drop here, precipitous drop down to the bottom level, the maiden 12.5. But you know what? If they team up again, here's a stat first for Tim Keefe and experienced horses with the first Lasix on the dirt. Look at this one. 6 for 16, 38%. 334 ROI. That speaks volumes. Do you think Defined Boundaries, you'll go back to the third race back on the page, a little move from just off of it. Can we see that effort from that one today?
Oh, I think as a new gelding, I won't be surprised if Defined Boundaries runs a lot better. Listen, Defined Boundaries did not run as well as Bold Diversion last time out, but it's a completely new Defined Boundaries. We'll see if it's a new and improved one.
Right.
Brittany Russell, trainer stat for Defined Boundaries between December 15th, January the 20th. 29% winners, 227 ROI. I'm expecting Sheldon Russell to be aggressive out of the gate to try to make the lead, maybe make Bold Diversion take a seat, but that was the scenario last time out, and Bold Diversion got the best. We're both going to go 5-3. We have Brewmaster in there. We do have Bye Bye Wicked Eye. Quickly talk about him.
Yeah, I think Bye Bye Wicked Eye here for McKenzie. I thought it was not off the claim. Going to drop again. Shuffle back. You see that comment. Had that trouble early. Just never got back on track. That was it. And he was done after that. But this drop, another shot. The 2-back try. It's 7/8. A little move into that. Just a touch of a hang. I think 6 furlongs is the right distance. I like him to spy the speed. I mean, I can see him 4 or 5 out of it, though, leaving the 3/8. He's going to have to ramp it up and going to need that help from horses like Defined Boundaries and Bold Diversion.
Before we get to our best plays, just want to mention some sad news. Pete Medhurst passed away last week. Of course, a great media announcer for Navy athletics, but loved horse racing.
Loved horse racing. He was down at Rosecroft, and he actually filled in the few times that Dave Robin had been unable to make it. Pete came up here and filled in, did a great job. I did not know him that well. He seemed really like a great guy when I met him those few times up here in the press box. Everybody I know, Scotty Y, and a host of people that have worked with him, sheer professional and just genuinely a good human being. It just so upsetting when these things happen.
That's a terrible, terrible loss. Amazing announcer, even a better human being. Best play, though, time for Sunday, Keith. You're going to go with Martini Martin. You're getting the race flow. You're getting the gelding. You're hoping 1 for 17.
There's lots of angles, correct. That angle about the gelding, we're going to need to improve it. But, just this protect move. He came back on, and he, I think, had a really good workout. He's had 2, I think, since the reported gelding. One of them really sharp. They had to see something to protect him here in this spot. And, man, they couldn't have been happier than when they open up the PPs and see speed. This guy, he likes to track. He can make a serious run today. I think you're going to see him fire a good shot from off the pace.
Some really interesting horses in today. I almost made Genie and a Bridle my best play, but how many times has Genie and a Bridle burned me? So Severn Run off the drop, Lasix on, 7-2 morning line. Not sure I'm going to get that after some scratches, but I do think Severn Run's going to show some speed for Phil Capuano. That's it for the Sunday edition of Today at the Races. Kelly Francois, Mackenzie Pfeiffer, Dave Rodman will take you through the afternoon. And speaking of the Rod Dog, let's go up to him for scratches and changes.
All right, good luck.